What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is a special edition of the Godzilla Block Party. Special edition, why? Because we're doing this thing on a Wednesday. Actually, it's Tuesday when we're recording this, but it's going up on Wednesday. We're doing it, okay, because of one gigantic thing. Godzilla, of course. But that second trailer dropped last night, meaning Monday night. Tuesday if you live in Japan or on that side of the earth, and the crowd went wild. Before we get all into that, let me introduce to you my esteemed panel. Joining me as always, my partner in crime on the G Show page, G73. What's up, brother?
How's it going, guys? It's a pretty sweet day.
Yes, sir. Also joining us from Australia, actually he's not from Australia, but let's say he is, the admin of the Zilla Junior page, we've got Z1 back again. What's up, brother?
Purple, I mean, hello.
Yes, he's going through some Barney things, but last but not least, finally joining us on the Godzilla Block Party is someone very, very special in this community. I'll tell you right now. She runs the Final Gojira or Godzilla page on Facebook, and she is the creator and copyright holder of the word awesome-mazing. Let me introduce you all to my good friend, Final Goji. What's up, girl?
Good. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Oh, I'm happy you're here. We are happy you're here, and it is time to go for broke. So, first topic of the day. Are you kidding me? It's the damn trailer. Earlier, last night, G73 sends G95 and myself a message through Facebook. Unfortunately for G73, he was the only giddy one because I was sleeping, and wherever G95 was, I'm sure he was sleeping because none of us got back to him until this morning. And holy crap, it happened. I did a trailer reaction this morning. I was like, you know what? Let me do one of these things. So I held out, which was driving me crazy because it was like almost a half hour before I actually got to see the trailer since, G73 sent it to me. But I held out. I watched the trailer.
20 minutes prior, you two got off and it posted.
Yeah, well, let me tell you. So I needed to sleep. I needed to sleep so when I was seeing that, I was prepared.
It happens.
But yeah, I was blown away. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And there's so much going on in that trailer. Of course, I explained some of that stuff in my trailer reaction video where there's, again, a lot of people, no dialogue. I'm not mad at it no more. The movie comes out next Friday. It's almost here. I can sit on this. It was the Godzilla stuff they showed that was mind-boggling. Again, we're 14 podcasts into this thing. By now, y'all should know I'm not a fan of the look, but that does not matter anymore. It has grown on me. I will give props to where props are due. There have been a bunch of people in the community saying, oh, give it a chance. It'll grow on you. You just wait and see. You may hate it now. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, shut up. No, I don't know. I have to see it in context. I still haven't seen it in context. I've seen it in trailers. I love it. I love it, but I still hate it. I still don't like ugly Godzilla, decrepit zombie Godzilla, but I am not mad whatsoever anymore. Even the googly eye, I can get by. That all being said, okay, so let me start with our newest guest. And as you, Final Goji, I would love to start with you and hear your opinions on this new trailer. But before that, we're going to jump and do it earlier. Let me hear your opinions on the first trailer because you're new and I usually do this for everybody who's new to the podcast. Give me your thoughts on that first trailer, how you felt then, and then give me your thoughts on how you feel now with the second trailer. Go for broke, lady.
All right. Well, first off, I want to say I appreciate that there was no dialogue because I always appreciate those trailers that doesn't show you the entire plot. I don't know if this was brought up, but let's just take Batman v Superman, for example. By showing the 3-act structure of your movie in a trailer, it completely ruins the anticipation for that movie. And, I just feel that when they first showed that trailer, they were just getting you into the mood of the movie. They were, transporting you into this world where you could feel invested. They were showing you shots of Godzilla destroying things. They were showing, people in panic. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, I don't like the political stuff with Godzilla," but like that's what's part of Godzilla. So by showing all the political stuff, they're obviously talking about something. So that mystery of what they're talking about is what keeps me engaged. But in terms of everything, from the soundtrack to the way the cinematography is, I think it's fantastic. Honestly, it's one of the best looking Godzilla films I've ever seen. Because, when you go, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. You could.
Okay. But usually when I go in to watch a movie, I like to watch how the camera moves and how sounds loop through a movie. Like it makes everything what a movie is. But let's just say you took out the main theme in Star Wars. Would that be the same movie, to you? To me, it's not. It's not like that theme's iconic. So I don't know. I just feel like, little things that people don't appreciate in a film is what makes a film. But in terms of Shin Gojira, it's just the mystery of why he's there and what's going on in the plot. It's just, I just want to find out more, but I'm thankful they're not spoiling it and dumbfounding their audience because I don't like when they do that.
Oh.
But I don't know. That's pretty much what I have for the first trailer because I'm completely fine with it.
Okay. And when you saw that second one yesterday, or this morning, what was your reaction?
Well, okay, so first of all, the purple atomic breath. I mean, it's so unique. I would have never guessed Godzilla would have purple atomic breath. So that one was just holy shit. Did that just happen? Just Toho taking that step towards a purple Godzilla? But in terms of no dialogue again, I don't really care because I know we had that dialogue trailer that dropped, I don't know, a week ago. I don't keep track of it.
Right, I know the TV spots. Yep.
But basically, I feel that I came up with this little theory about why he's purple, but then again, it harkens back to the original 1954 classic. And I know they're trying to stay away from that, but I have a funny feeling, the directors are, in a way, honoring the original. There's no doubt about it. I don't know if you saw my, comparison video of, Shin Gojira and the original.
Yes.
But that's basically what I was, seeing. They were recreating shots, note by note. So, I don't know. But in terms of, I'm just looking at my notes here because I wrote so many things down.
That's good. Someone's organized. Someone's more organized than me. That's crazy. I love it.
There's so much shit to write down. I'm like, okay, there's too many things going on. What if this happens to this, or if this connects to that, or there's so many things.
Oh well, then you know what? We get into the speculation thread a little later on. Why don't you hold off on that? So you can drop some real cool shit on us thing. I'm sure you've got a lot better ideas than I do right now because my head's still blown away from this morning. So let's. All right. Well, let's hit G73 before we go to Prince over there. Let's go G73. You were trying to wake us up last night and to no avail. But I appreciate you dropping it on the G show. Seriously, I do appreciate all that. That is why you are one of my admins. But listen, man.
That's what I was destined to do.
Destined, exactly. What was your thoughts, man?
I liked it a lot better than the first trailer. I'm trying to think for a second here. That trailer really reminded me of Gamera. Musically wise, the theme of the really reminded me of Gamera, and I liked it a lot. I'm kind of 50-50, and the music's very bizarre, and it put over a very eerie feeling over me, and that hasn't happened yet. And with them to make Shin Gojira kind of seem scary, that kind of worked a little bit with the eerie theme going on. To me, though, it was a little bit too bizarre for me to be like wow, but I think that's what they wanted to do, was to make people feel like this was kind of disturbing to listen to. Um, but I liked it. I liked how when they were shooting at Godzilla, everything was deflecting off of him, because to me that means that they pretty much have little to no hope of taking down this monster. And I liked where it went. I liked how they didn't give away too much, but they gave away just a little bit to get you. This is what's going down. Not really much of a plot given away, but it adds a little bit of interest and hype. I'm excited now. I wasn't excited like I am now, 2 weeks ago, but now I have that hype meter really, taken off, and so I'm ready. I'm ready for this movie to come out.
Gotcha.
And so.
All right. Well, it's time to go to the man himself, Z1, because I know you got a lot of stuff to say. We've been over Messenger. Yeah. Your turn. You saw that trailer early this morning or late last night, depending on when you did see it. What were your reactions?
Fucking purple, man. Okay. This new Brett fucking astounds me. Because my fucking theory about it is purple is the highest color on the radiation spectrum in terms of like how radioactive and deadly it is. So this could be Godzilla's most powerful and deadliest breath in terms of like fallout and shit. Because that hasn't been addressed in the series at all since 1954. They're really going back to the roots here. And the scenes where the Japanese military are actually doing something right and aiming for his legs and face rather than his body.
Yes.
That's fucking smart, even though it's
more
not
accuracy
doing
than
anything. But
people.
hey, at least they're not fucking dumb anymore. Like this trailer is actually turning me around on the movie. And just like you said, the design's fucking growing on me, man. Like, even though, like, yeah, it still got the googly eyes, and even though he still has that fucking long-ass neck, looking like a goddamn upside down, not upside down, but, like, looking like a goddamn bowling pin, it's fucking growing on me, man. Like, and even though there's no dialogue, I got my dialogue fixed with the TV spot that we talked about a while back. So, you know what? I'm satisfied. I like it. I'm actually fucking hyped. Purple!
I want to touch on that, man, because that was one of the things in the trailer that blew my mind. The ricochet. The bullets flying off his face. Now, G73 said it felt like Gamera.
It almost looks like the shells are exploding before they even hit Godzilla. Like, I don't know. I have to look at it closer to see if they're actually hitting him, but it almost looks like it's like they're bouncing off this like field of radiation that Godzilla's just emanating.
Right. You know what? I don't know. It looks, when the helicopters at least are shooting the bullets at him, because the tank shells, the explosives might be something else, but when it looks like with the bullets are hitting them, they're bouncing off. There's definitely a tracer effect that you can see hit and go all over the place. G73 touched on it felt like Gamera. I'll tell you, one of the last TV spots, the shot of the car driving and Godzilla's there, and that shot that came out last week, big leg all the way up from the bottom view up, that felt like Gamera 2 to me, when Gamera's walking into the city to stop the pod from exploding.
Or the scene in Gamera 3 in that Nagoya's district of Tokyo where he's fighting the Gauss.
That too.
And there's lots of shots where you just see Gamera from like a child's eye view.
Right. No, but what I meant was like that particular shot, like the driving shot, it was kind of like reminiscent. It was kind of like the same shot almost, with just Godzilla in it. But that's not a knock to it. I actually like that shot from Gamera, so I loved it with Godzilla even more. The helicopter scene, though, reminded me, when I saw it for the first time, reminded me of the 76 version of King Kong, when the helicopters are coming and they're just like, now. And
that was one of my favorite parts of the trailer.
Yes, and I loved that. So when I saw that, and to Z1's point there, Yes. They were shooting him in the face. They were shooting him in the legs. They were trying to stop this thing. Don't shoot it in the chest. So I love that idea. I mean, some of the Millennium movies did that with the mazes. I forgot which one. I think it might have been the first Mechagodzilla one, where they were trying to aim the mazes for its eye. I love that. It's a genius. That's what you should do. Try to take the eyes out, but then again, you never know. You might blind the thing, and then it goes into blind rage, and we're all fucked. But yeah, so those were just a little bit of things there. Final Goji, you have anything you might want to touch on as far as that trailer, particular scenes in the trailer that really caught your eye?
I don't know. I just, pretty much what you guys said, I just loved how you can just feel the desperation of these people. Like, they're literally trying to shoot at Godzilla. They're trying to stop this thing. And, again, harking back to the original, I just love how it takes this unstoppable force of nature and it's just elevated to the height of Shin Gojira. Because when you look at him, you just think of nightmares. You think of everything you don't want to see in reality. And I just think that's genius. Because both of these directors, I mean, they're notorious, for, Evangelion. And actually, I believe it was Anno, yeah. He worked for Studio Ghibli. He was an animator for Nausicaa and Valley of the Wind and one of my favorite films of all time, Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh.
Both fantastic films with a war-esque feel to it. So these guys are visually excellent directors. But the thing is, not to scare anybody, but has anyone seen Attack on Titan by Shinji, I believe, Higuchi?
Yeah,
no,
we made the comparison when I first got on the podcast that Godzilla looks like a Titan.
Yeah, exactly, because the color code for the shots in this movie are so similar to Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to bring this up because I was talking with the man right here. Basically, I saw Attack on Titan before it even came to North America. So when I was watching it, the movie had strengths, and judging him by his work, he has trouble fleshing out his characters. His characters felt very one-dimensional, so that's why the only thing I'm nervous about for Shin Gojira, I don't care if I don't see a lot of Godzilla because G 2014 was like that, and I didn't really care.
Right.
The thing is, if I'm not invested in the characters, I'm not going to be invested in the movie. So I'm just hoping he took the criticism from the first Attack on Titan movie, and he also made a sequel to Attack on Titan that wasn't really good. You should see it on Rotten Tomatoes. It has like a 12%.
Oh my god.
It's not good. So I'm kind of nervous in terms of the characters in this movie, but so far they look okay. That's my only concern. But I don't know.
Remember the director is also the director of the Evangelion movies.
That's Anno, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, I like that anime.
Oh, I know. It's one of my top favorite animes. They did a fantastic job with that anime. I'm talking about Attack on Titan, as that movie by itself. I'm just afraid they're going to transfer those character types to Shin Gojira because I compare the remakes of Godzilla with G98 and G2014. I compare those characters to the ones from the first movie because essentially they are remaking those characters in a way, but in a different setting. And if they don't really uphold these characters, I'm not going to be invested. And this just may be me, but I hearken the original as the best Godzilla movie ever. And, because its message is so strong. So if they're trying to, what I think they're trying to do is honor the original. But the thing is, if they're going to have characters that aren't exactly worth investing in, then I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this movie. That's my only concern with it, because effects-wise, it looks fine. Music-wise, it seems fine. Just that's the only thing that I feel is worth being scared about.
Well, that's a very valid concern. I mean, think about it. A lot of people hated Ford Brody. I had no problem with Ford Brody. My only issue with G14 was they killed Bryan Cranston, and they shouldn't have. I think he was the star, rightfully so. He should have been there throughout the whole movie, and I would have loved to see him and Serizawa play off of each other. Ken Watanabe play off of each other a lot more. That would have been excellent, but they didn't. And again, those are things I just dust under the table. I know there's a lot of detractors of that movie. I love that movie, but I agree. Without strong characters to set it up, and you walk into 1954, those might be the greatest characters. They are actually in a Godzilla movie. That group of characters, from Ogata to Professor Yamane, though, even to Shinchi, that's how you pronounce it,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I love those characters. I love the characters in 84, 85. But nothing comes close to those characters there in that movie, except for maybe Mickey. I think Mickey was probably the most fleshed out, well-rounded characters, but she also had like 6 movies to do that in. So, but no, I totally agree with you on that. If the characterizations aren't there, if there's no intrigue with the characters, there's a problem. Again, it's hard. Even if we heard dialogue, I'm sure our Japanese is not up to standard. So
50-50.
50. Well, jeez. You know what? We're gonna speak a lot more. I need some help debunking. Shit, you're gonna subtitle a couple of things I have that I need subtitle on. But let me get G73's opinion. Anything else he wanted to say that stood out to him in this trailer? Anything that really was like, whoa.
When the trailer transcended to the night, and you see that shot where it's a looking up view, it looks almost like Shin Gojira is coming out of the ground, like they buried him or something like that. And he's like
in 1964.
Well, not like literally buried him, but it looks like he's like emerging out of tons of debris. And the spot next to that where it's a wide shot and you see him in the middle of the city and his tail's moving back and forth. That was my absolute favorite shot of the whole entire trailer.
And
that's why I saw on my phone wallpaper.
And that is the shot for the podcast cover today. That's the podcast because I love that shot too.
I didn't really talk about the purple atomic breath just because it is what it is to me. I've seen a lot of stuff about it. I've heard that it's going to be blue and red, and I've also seen in a little game that came out that it's blue and red, and also when he shoots it, it goes to purple. So I'm not too worried about that. I like the idea. It's kind of a little bit eerie. His favorite color was purple, and he also loved Godzilla, and now Godzilla's atomic breath is purple. So I think that's kind of a cool connection for me. So that's all I really have to say to that. But to me, it was the shots alone. I really liked that city shot. And back to the part where the helicopters are racing through the city and charging at Godzilla. I love that. That's high adrenaline stuff, man.
Yeah, it's a good call.
And just the shot of the helicopters, how they looked CGI-wise, that looked great. And I just thought it was awesome that, they're just pelting him relentlessly in the face. And he's just like, what the hell are you guys doing? And they're not going to do anything to me. And I just love that. And the bridge scene where he's about to cross the bridge and they're all shooting at him and from the tanks where the Parco commercial came in.
Right.
And they put the little, that scene, that part was cool too. I just like the shots of it. I understand now. I hear a lot of people complaining that it doesn't look like Godzilla's really moving. But one thing they wanted to touch up on is that he's a giant, slow monster. Does he really have to be moving fast? I mean, he's moving in a direction, and he's moving into a direction for a reason we don't know why. He's on a straight path. So, it doesn't matter if he's running. I think it's even scarier that it's like the slower he is, it's like, well, no matter what, he's still coming and we can't stop it.
Yeah, gotcha. There's a couple of things. There's a couple. I'm sorry, what was that? Final Goji?
Oh, no, no, no. I was just agreeing with everything you just said because I've seen so much hate for this design. And honestly, if you're going to love Godzilla, you need to see past the suit or the design or whatever because there's always a purpose to why it looks like this. For example, burning Desu Goji in Godzilla vs. Destroy It. We understood why Godzilla looked like that. He was melting down from having too much radiation in his body. The thing is, I'll talk about it later, but there's a reason why Shin Gojira looks like this, and I'll talk about it later. But there's a reason.
Well, wait. If that's something you've read in a plot,
There's
wait.
hold on.
We had that conversation before. G73. Final G. If that's something you read like in a plot synopsis, we won't talk about that here. I don't want to spoil it for anybody outside that don't want to know until they see the movie.
Nope, I didn't read it in.
It's a theory. It's your theory.
Yeah, because I did some research upon it, and after the confirmation of the purple breath, I just realized, oh my god, this is what this is meaning. At least I'm hoping it's what this means, what I'm thinking.
All right. Well,
there's something that I saw in the trailer, and I don't know if I should save it for speculation or mention it now.
Save it for speculation. Because
Okay,
I want to touch on a couple of things you said just now before I go to Z1 and ask him what he thought. First thing, this is something I was going to bring up. I'm glad you did. The breath, okay? I've seen a lot of people not liking the idea of it being purple. Z1 had hit on the nail on the head. Sorry, guys. It's a long day. Hit the nail on the head when he was saying purple is like the highest concentration of radiation or something. That's great. I love that idea. I love it,
and
love it.
And colors.
There you go. So I love it. Also, what I'm thinking is, and this is something you've seen in the trailer, I absolutely believe we're getting all three colors. We're getting blue, we're getting red, and we're going to get this purple. I think the purple,
yes.
The purple was the money shot because it was something different. We've seen red beams. We are all accustomed to blue beams. The red beam, I say, because that night shot you were talking about, that scope where he's in the middle and it's like the whole city, he's glowing. And he's glowing red. Even the picture that came out last week with one of the TV spots, that last shot where it says 729 and IMAX and all that blah, 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 he's glowing red. Like something's about to happen. That's not just meat and tissue.
Imagine how cool it will be if he glows blue.
Exactly. So
yes.
We saw him glowing purple at the end of that trailer. So off the bat, we're getting red, we're getting purple, and I absolutely believe we'll get a blue one. And whether or not he glows also depends. If he gets a blue one, I'm throwing this out there, even though it's a speculative thing, but it's not like a deep speculation thing. If he glows blue, I think it might be after he's fully formed. If he does regenerate in this movie. But yeah,
because back to the radiation thing. Yeah, there was this chart that just came out, and yeah, purple is strong, but at the end of the chart, it's full blue still as the strongest. So I'm still confused on that.
Well, we'll see in the movie. We've got,
But what I'm saying is, it makes sense if it goes to red, purple, blue, like that, because Toho always wanted to make Godzilla's radiation the strongest. That's why it's blue or light blue. So. I don't see a reason why it's not going to be blue at some point, or I don't know where I'm really going with that, but it was confusing because they posted a chart and purple was in the middle, and Andrew told me purple is the strongest, but yet blue is at the end of the chart. So I was I'm confused.
That's kind of like that's really just what a friend of mine who's like an even bigger nerd than I am told me, that purple was the highest.
Well, we don't need to worry about that until we see the movie, and then after we all see the movie, we're going to get back on this thing and just go in on it. But for now, yeah, so the breath was one of those things I wanted to touch on, and I forgot what the second thing I wanted to touch on was, but it doesn't matter because I want to hear if Z1 has any other scenes that stood out to him in this movie. Oh, wait, before we go there, I do remember. The walking thing, the plotting, the way he moved. I saw some of that too. I saw some of the beefs on the internet about that. Before this particular trailer and even maybe the TV spots this weekend, I would say the same thing. I was kind of in that boat. Like, we see him. He looks like he's in the same position all the time. There's action in the foreground, Godzilla in the background, and the only thing moving there is his tail. This trailer changed that for me. If you look at this trailer again, certain shots, this one nice long shot of the daytime, and Godzilla's walking through the city, his legs are moving. That shot, the camera shot I was talking about, where they're driving up and Godzilla's off to the side there, his leg is moving. There was a couple of things. Matter of fact, even in the trailer still, that one shot that was at the end of the first trailer where the guy is looking like if he's on a roof and he's looking out at the camera. We get to see what he's looking at, and it was Godzilla, which was funny because that was a very reminiscent shot of G14 in Hawaii. And all you saw was the tail going around the building. That's what it felt like. There was something else. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of things. I see a couple of nods there, and I love that, though. I do. I think
there's a lot of 2014 not knockoffs, but like gems in here they're trying to incorporate.
Well, and rightfully so. I mean, 2014 is their most successful Godzilla movie. Let's not lie about that. It's true. So if we can, and I'm not saying they're knocking that movie off. They're not ripping it off or nothing. But to pay some homage to some of those shots, the way G14 pays some homage to, Godzilla in general, I'm all for that. So, yeah, I saw a lot more movement in this trailer from Godzilla. Sure, he's still plotting. Sure, he's still slow. But the fact is he looks a lot more mobile than previous trailers. So that's what I wanted to touch on with that. Now I'm going to go to Z1 and see what he has to say as far as any other things that stood out for him in the trailer.
A lot of it has to do with like the military basically going all out. Like I already stressed this. Like the military is just trying to take this thing down, and it's just not working. Like in 2014, with the Golden Gate Bridge scene, you see that even though like it's not really doing anything major, Godzilla still looks like he's getting hurt by the missiles and the artillery from the Armada. You see that he winces a little bit when he gets hit in the gills, and then that's what causes him to walk right through the Golden Gate Bridge and go into San Francisco. Whereas here, Shin Goji gives no fucks. None. Absolutely none.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I agree. I'm interested. I can't wait to see what's going on with all of the people. Like, there was a lot of boardroom in this trailer. They're in meetings. They're trying to figure it out. I love the idea that this is standalone. Has nothing to do with any other movie. This is Godzilla's first appearance, and they're like, "What is this? What do we do? How are we going to take care of it?" So I can't wait. And this is with what Final Goji said. I can't wait to see where the character is, where the story goes. It seems like they got a solid cast. So, when you get that, as long as the script is tight, I don't really care about the acting in Godzilla movies. I'll be honest. If it's good, that's great. If it's not, as long as the movie's fun. And even though this looks like a nightmare, it looks like a fun nightmare. One of those nightmares where you actually kill Freddy Krueger. So, and oh Jesus, and Shinji does look like Freddy Krueger. Let's be for real here. So, but
it looks like Freddy Krueger on Facebook on topographical map of Utah.
Oh my God! Wait, we just had everybody talking at once except for me. So let's go down the line. Z1.
What?
What did you just say?
I said he actually looks like Freddy Krueger face fucked the topographical map of Utah.
Oh, I'll tell you right now.
Deadpool, yes.
Deadpool. Oh, nice. Yeah. Final Goji got that reference. So speaking of Final Goji, we are over the half-hour mark. Let's start. Well, before we go speculating, let's talk about the territories that were announced early today. There were over 100 territories, if I'm not mistaken. August Ragone, in his news blog, made a great article. Wrote a great article, posted it up today, and it was basically talking about how Toho has sold the rights to Shinji in 100 territories or more than 100 territories. I'm not absolutely, but I know the number 100 was there. So let's just say 100, okay, for Pete's sake. That is the most territories Toho Godzilla movie has been sold. That's crazy. It's coming out starting in August in different nations, especially in Asia. I saw Hong Kong there. I think it was Taiwan there. There's a couple of others there. Then I saw that as far as like continents go, I saw Africa. They just different things. But then there was in there saying that the United States as well, and that there might be a report on it, a press release on it soon. Now, I trust in August Ragone. I do. So I don't believe that man would not post something up that was not true, because his track record is just phenomenal. So that being said, the North American hemisphere, we're gonna get Shin Gojira in theaters, because I don't think it would just be they will put it out there just, well, it's coming out on DVD. We knew that was gonna happen. We knew we were gonna get a home video version of that, regardless. But this news, this is gonna hit the theaters. My question to you guys is, will this be hype enough, especially after Godzilla 2014? Would this get other movie-going, the outside crew, the outside moviegoers into the theaters to see this? Because, let's be for real here, this comes out in theaters, we're all going. We're all going to the theater. Even you, Final Goji, I don't care.
Not me.
You'll be in a theater. I'm sure you will. But do you think this has the ability to become bigger than G2000 was? So let's start with you, Z1. What do you think?
I think this is gonna fucking tank, okay? Because when Godzilla 2000 came out, it was the same fucking deal. Moviegoers thought Godzilla 2000, is this the sequel to the Godzilla movie we just saw? What the fuck is this fat guy in rubber suit Chinese bullshit? That's what the American moviegoers do.
Real quick, before you go on.
Oh my.
I gotta give you some applause there, man. I gotta give you props on that, because you said Chinese, and he didn't make a mistake there, people. That's what the outside movie-going audience looks at it. Everything is Chinese if it's Asian. The way, for whatever reason, everybody Latin must be Mexican. I'm not Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. I just want to throw that out there. Good call on that, Z1. Continue.
Okay. So, like when Godzilla, that's what they thought with Godzilla 2000. The general American movie-going audience does not do fucking research. They're going to think Godzilla Resurgence is Godzilla 2. They're going to go in the theater thinking that they're going to see Gareth Edwards shit again. They're going to go in there thinking they're going to see Ford Brody again. And then they're going to get what Shin Gojira actually is. And then they're going to be like, just like before, what the fuck is this Chinese bullshit? And then they're going to pan the movie. The movie's going to go right down the fucking tubes on Rotten Tomatoes. And then it's going to even hurt the Legendary series. When Godzilla 2000 came out, 98 was kind of going to get a sequel because it did well in the theater. But after Godzilla 2000, that shit got canned in a minute. So that's going to even hurt the Legendary series, I think.
Well,
if it comes out here in the States.
Well, real quick, if it does come out here in the States, I think it will be a limited release. Not as limited as, let's say, Attack on Titan, but more limited than G2000. It'll hit major markets, and that's probably it. In major markets, I'm talking New York, LA, Chicago, maybe some places in Florida, Texas, and hopefully Vegas. If not, I'm traveling to California to see this movie. So what? But
you can watch it with me because we get all the exclusives in Sacramento.
There you go. So I'll be taking a trip.
Dragon Ball Z and Attack on Titan. So.
I'll be taking a trip with G73 and to go see Godzilla Resurgence. But yeah. Also, to touch on your point there, I don't know. I mean, granted, the average movie-going audience does not do research and does not pay attention. But I think because of what Legendary's doing in setting up Kong of Skull Island, and then they made it official. Godzilla 2, and then Godzilla versus Kong. I don't think they would get too confused, especially when they see how radically different Godzilla looks. They'll probably not go see it because they'll be like, all right, I don't know. Because again, the average movie-going audience was kind of turned off with 98 because they were like, what the hell is that's not Godzilla. But that's the average movie-going audience. Forget what the G fans thought, because that's another can of worms. But Legendary's Godzilla, they were like, oh yeah, because I got a bunch of friends who don't pay attention to Godzilla, but when they saw the trailers and okay, it's a different look, but it's Godzilla. That's definitely the silhouette. So things to that nature. I think they'll be able to distinguish this and that, especially because of the way this looks. Shin Goji is an ugly, ugly look, and he's supposed to be. He's all messed up. But so maybe I'll give him a little bit more credit, the average movie-going audience, only because they should know by now that, Legendary's continuing on with their series. That being said, I'm going to jump to you, G73. Your thoughts on the potential release of Godzilla Resurgence here in the States?
I've been hearing Zilla complain about this all day since it's been announced. And I understand where he's coming from, and I'll admit, I even thought about that a while ago, maybe when I first heard about Godzilla Resurgence coming out. But the thing is that I think we're in a time now, especially granted that Godzilla 2 comes out in 2019, and there's no plans after Godzilla Resurgence that we know of right now of them making a sequel or a universe, I should quote. I think it's going to be okay, especially because if they go to Comic-Con and then promote Godzilla 2, they're going to have to, somehow sell it. And that's up to them. That's all up to the movie, to Legendary, if they can sell it or not. If it comes down to it where people end up getting turned away because they think Legendaries is connected to TOHO's, in my opinion, that's just poor movie making, poor movie advertisement. But I also think we're in a day and age now that only fucking idiots will fucking see that it's connected to Toho in a sense, or think it's a Toho film, because there's a big difference here, And now, like, I do get it. I get it because, there are people out there, especially the general audience. But the one thing is, too, the general audience isn't going to care about Godzilla Resurgence. But because they know that Legendary put out a Godzilla movie a while ago, that's probably what's going to grab them, is because of the title of, Legendary's film. That's just how I see it. But, I do see it in the sense that, I don't see it harming Legendary at all. I just think that it's going... People are going to see a movie no matter what, out of sheer curiosity. They're not going to see it. No, if they don't want to see it, they're not going to see it. But if they want to see it, they're going to see it. So I think people shouldn't fear it right now. I think people need to just chill out and not think too hard about it right now. But that's just me.
Got you, brother. I got you. So now let's jump to the lovely lady in the room. Final Goji, your thoughts about Godzilla Resurgence maybe getting a North American release?
I'm just gonna say, if it's released in the United States, I'm gonna drive down there and break into a theater, because either way, I know it's not going to be released in Canada. There's no way it's going to be released here, because Godzilla 2000 wasn't released in Canada. Even the original Godzilla movie wasn't released in Canada. So I doubt I'm going to see an advertisement or one of my local theaters playing this. I mean, there's no way. I have zero confidence that this is going to happen. But in terms of American moviegoers, I feel like it's not going to harm the Legendary series, because if you just look at Godzilla, you can tell it's not the same Godzilla. Like, I don't know how
Just quality-wise, too.
Exactly, yes. Like, and totally off topic, but like, there's a different choreographic. I can't even say the word, but like, there's a different look to the G2014 movie compared to Shin Gojira. Like, it's just any filmmaker.
Perfect.
Yeah, like any person with eyes could see. Okay, there's a different style to this than this. You know that it's totally two separate things. So I don't know why people get confused by it, but I can understand like maybe little kids getting confused by it, saying, "Oh look, is that Godzilla? Oh wait, why does he look like that, mommy? Why does he look like that? Why does he look like a burnt cigarette? Like it doesn't, it doesn't. Like I don't know because I don't know. I didn't really think about this topic, but honestly, if you guys get if you get an American release, I don't know, because there isn't enough advertisement in the U.S. or even North America in general unless it gets online. So I don't know. I don't really know what to say, honestly.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, just sorry. Like it's just because I've never seen anything like where I live. Like besides G2014, and I'm guessing G98, but what the hell do I know? I wasn't even born yet, so I don't know.
I love your honesty. I'll be honest. I love your honesty. I went to see G98 in the theaters. I took my little brother. I was like, surprise! It was around his birthday, actually, so it was a birthday surprise for him. Because, yeah, that movie came out, I think, early May of 98, if I'm not mistaken. His birthday is late April. Anyhow, the marketing, I like what you said there. With the marketing, you get most of the stuff online. I remember G2000 had a lot of commercials. They were showing it. The only thing is, people were so turned off. And then you're bringing back Godzilla. We haven't had a Godzilla movie since 1985. And, you know, even though it was darker in tone from the previous Godzilla movies that, you know, the States might have had in the theaters back then, it was a different time. It was another decade. It was a long time. And then for G2000 to come out after G98, which left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
I can imagine, yeah. Like, honestly, I just wish I was alive back then to see the hate towards this, because I can understand why Godzilla fans would be so pissed. Like, I would be if I was alive.
Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't have the privilege of the internet back then, and I think a lot of G fans didn't. So the anger and I mean, that's why it's still to this day people going crazy. Today I was browsing through Facebook, and I saw a post from, I believe, the admin of the TOHO Kaiju Union. TOHO King, I think that TOHO Kaiju Union, I forget. But he was just mad, and people are still beefing about G98. And, you know, in a sense, I feel him. So, you know, I got your back, brother. Even though we know each other personally, that might change soon enough. But the marketing, I think this movie will come out in November. If they,
me too.
If they drop a release date, if they drop something saying a confirmation saying yes, it is coming to America, and it's coming such and such time, I think November will be the best time to do it. If I'm not mistaken, that's when G2000 came out, was in November. I think it was May, actually. I think that was May also. I think it was a summer month. But I could be mistaken, as it's been a long time.
Yeah, I ended up seeing it in August when I was little.
Okay,
I know my friend's birthday was August 5th, and then I saw it the next day.
So then, you know what? It had to come out in August then. Then it was in August. It definitely was. But, or late July. I think it was late July. But anyhow, I think it would make sense to drop it in November. Godzilla's anniversary. This is going back to the roots. So, yeah, I think that would make the most sense. Whether or not they do it, that's a completely other thing. Hopefully we see the movie by then. I'm just saying, because, you know, some of us G fans are ravenous. And we just can't.
My interjection.
Yeah, I want to hear you.
Okay, so first things first, final Goji. Try your best to get through the border. I don't know how long it'll be until Trump builds a wall along Canada.
Oh my God, we got political here.
Oh my God, fuck Trump. Sorry, I fucking.
Second of all,
real quick, I
I'm
just
just
shout
saying
out
the general
Shinji.
movie-going audience, when it comes to kaiju movies, when it comes to kaiju movies, when it comes to Godzilla, are fucking morons. Sure, Godzilla 2000 had a lot of commercials, but a lot of people didn't see those commercials. They just looked at their local movie theater, they saw Godzilla 2000, and they're like, oh, maybe it's a sequel to the 98 movie. They go into the theater, boom, it's a Japanese movie. What the fuck is this? They'll probably, the general fucking stupid movie-going audience
choose to
will probably do the
educate
same thing.
themselves,
They're
though.
not going to look at the trailers. They're not going to look at the promotion. They're going to just see the sign on the movie theater that says Godzilla Resurgence. Oh, is this the sequel to the 2014 movie? Going to the movie theater? What the fuck is this shit?
Listen, I gotta say, I'm going to disagree with you a bit there, only because I was alive and, you know, at an age, and I don't want to disclose, where I was a part of that group. Don't get me wrong, I was a Godzilla fan. I had already seen Godzilla 2000 before they announced it was coming out in America. But I was also a movie-going fan, and that damn thing was plastered all over the television. It was very hard for you to go to the theater and say, "Oh, Godzilla," because here's the thing: even on the poster, that's not what Zilla looked like at all. Okay, so I don't think you're giving a lot of credit to those to the average movie-going audience, and also that movie didn't really do well out here at all. So the average movie-going audience didn't go see it.
Bombed.
That's the whole
Which
thing.
I think Shin Gojira will do here. I think it will bomb.
But here's the difference between tanking and bombing and being a bad movie. Godzilla 2000 was, in my personal opinion, a great film. But it's...
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I think it'll probably do well. Like I think to us and a lot of other people, Shin Gojira might be a great movie. I'm not talking critically. I'm talking box office.
Right,
and that's going to tank.
And that's the issue now. And now that's the issue Toho face. But again, I don't understand how all this monetary thing plays out. I don't know how that works. When you buy the rights from Toho, you're giving Toho the money regardless. Let's say, again, I have no idea, and somebody who's listening who does know how this shit works, please feel free to comment and correct my ass. But let's just say Toho sells Shin Godzilla or Godzilla Resurgence to me, and I give Toho, let's say, I give Toho $50 million for it, for the right to show it here in Canada, because I want Final Goji to see it, right? So
thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So let's say I spent $50 million to buy the rights from Toho to show that movie in Canada, and my box office return comes in and it's $16 million. Oh, I took a huge loss and Toho's laughing. So I think that's how it works. I'm not sure, but it's a chance. It's a chance you take. And I know that's how regular movies go. I don't know how, when you buy what, but if a movie studio is putting out a movie, they've got their budget in place. They do what they got to do. If Fox is putting out Alien 5, Fox is paying for all of Alien 5. There's no distributing rights or nothing like that. It's coming out of Fox, so it's going to come from their budget. But something like with Toho, if they license it to Sony, because we don't even know if Sony's getting that. That's another thing. Sony they've been in cahoots with Toho for the last, 12 years, 15 years?
No, actually, I have a theory on that.
Okay.
Because Sony lost the rights to Godzilla in 2003. That's why we haven't ever seen a sequel to 98, nor will we ever see a sequel. They lost the rights in 98. But they still have a lot of distribution rights for Godzilla films. Primarily the Heisei and Millennium series.
Gotcha.
So I think that they are going to scoop this up, and they are going to dub it themselves just like they did Godzilla 2000. They might even edit it a little bit.
Which I hope they don't, because I like untouched editing. But I guess it's different for, you might have to pace it differently for American audiences. Who knows? I mean, I'm a Godzilla fan.
Please no English dub. Please no.
Thank you, for real. But that's unfortunately what we're gonna get because there's gonna be too many people too lazy to read subtitles. I love the
people
subtitles.
don't read subtitles. People don't even read.
It's just,
Please just educate yourself. Just learn a different language. Just sit and just bear with it, please. It would make it so much easier for all of us, so we don't have to bear through what was Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. That was I love that movie, but the dub, oh my god.
that's why I never ever watch any of the Heisei movies dubbed unless it's Godzilla 1985 or Godzilla versus Biollante. And the only reason why Biollante is because the first time I saw that movie was the Miramax dub version, and I was like, "What is this?"
I've seen all of the Heisei series English dubbed, and Biollante is the best one.
Of course it is, because when Sony got it, they goofed it. And we had this conversation in the previous podcast. It's one of the things why I'd rather watch subtitled versions, because you're getting an actual performance, a true performance from the actor portraying whatever character they're doing, instead of getting somebody just, I don't know, phoning it in, so yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, even the original director of Godzilla 2000, the Japanese version, prefers the American cut, so,
Well, that's...
With Orca's Roar, I can see that, but I don't know. I think Japanese films are just art, and if you just sit down and you just watch it, you could just learn something really magnificent about it. All the effort. I mean, that's why I just love foreign films, because they're so underrated. But I understand your point.
I you know what? You really needed to be on this podcast a lot sooner. But
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm glad I got you on now. But I'm going to say something, and this is going to be the unfortunate part. We're going to wrap this up. So your speculations, I want y'all to hold on to that, because if you guys are going to join me for Friday's podcast, which we will be recording on Thursday, if you guys are going to join me on that podcast, then we are going to dedicate a whole half hour to the speculation, because we got our thoughts on this trailer, our thoughts on the idea of it coming out into North America. We've got that out of the way in this hour, and so on. When we do the next one, there might be just two people that need to say their piece about the trailer and what they feel about the distribution rights. And that might take all of 15 minutes. And then we can go and speculate, because the trailer's out. There's no more waiting. We're done. We finished. We got what we wanted. It's here. We're all happy, apparently. And people stop to hate. The purple thing is pretty freaking awesome. Seriously. See the Joker.
Fucking purple!
I love it. So, that being said, I want to thank you guys, my panel here today on this special edition podcast of the Godzilla Block Party. Starting with you, G73. Thank you, brother, for joining me once again and supplying everything we needed for this particular podcast, which is, of course, the trailer and the news articles. Thank you, brother.
As always, it's good to be here.
Yes, sir. And I want to thank you, Z1, seriously, for joining us once again.
Every time I come on here, I think everybody's jimmies gets a little more rustled. So I'm happy to be here.
I think that jimmies get rustled because you like to use the words fuck, 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 and purple.
And purple.
And purple. So, and last but not least, I want to thank you, Final Goji, my lady, for joining us for the first time. Please, you have a spot at the council. Whenever you want, you are here on this panel. That's open invitation. You say, hey, I want in this week. It's yours. I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It was nice to meet you all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And listen, seriously, come back for the next podcast so we can get your speculation, because that's one of those things I love doing, speculation. Just ask
I'm holding on to it, and I just hope I'm right. It's one of those crazy theories, and but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait.
Good.
So hopefully I'll be able to join you guys maybe 30 minutes after your podcast, because I have to go make life and go make money for my living. So
I hear you.
I don't know. I should be able to join you guys. So.
Well,
Do it. Join us. Do it.
Be one with the dark side. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. This seriously has been one of my favorite podcasts, because shit, we got the new trailer. And as I always end it, this has been the best damn Godzilla podcast I've ever been on because it is the only damn Godzilla podcast I've ever been on. I'm G1. This is the Godzilla Friday, the Godzilla Block Party. Peace. I messed up. It's terrible. It's not even Friday yet. See? Wednesday. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.